Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to Phantom Frequency. This is where we dive into the entire multiverse of pop culture, comic book movies, horror, anime, skateboarding, wrestling, anything in between. We talk about it here on the channel. I have no idea why I threw out skateboarding. It just crossed my mind. But we ain't talking about no motherfucking skateboarding. You can see the thumbnail. Huge Scream 7 update. Stu lives. That's right. Stu Macher is back. Matthew Lillard seemingly confirmed it by writing out the classic quote on a piece of paper with a post on his Instagram, writing out the famous line, "My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me after all the years of speculation, damn near 30 years of speculation going on. The very fucking horror franchise that made me the fan I am of the genre of the franchise and everything in between. I even met the man at Monsterpalooza 4 to 5 years ago, or 3 to 4 years ago, man. I got to meet Stu himself. Crazy shit, and I can't fucking believe it. Now, there's been so much discourse back and forth. How the hell could he survive a TV falling on his head? He stabbed him. Billy and Stu stabbed each other a bunch of times to make it look like they actually were attacked, and so they could frame Sydney and make themselves look like innocent victims. There's a whole bunch of speculation that's going to go into this. Is it a twin brother? Was it all a ruse? Did they fake his death? Or are they flashbacks? Is he a vision to Sydney, similar to how Billy was a vision to Melissa Barrera's character Sam Carpenter? Right? There's so many different elements and different ways that they can play around with this character. No Freaky, no Diddy. In this franchise and in this latest installment, but I don't know about you guys, but I am so over the moon about this, man. I've always been on the side of Stu should be out there, Stu should return, and Stu definitely could have survived that. People have survived much worse, especially in Scream 6. Chad got stabbed like 15 to 20 some times, like by two people at the same time and lived, okay? Mindy lived through all that shit. Sam has lived through all that shit. Sydney has lived through a bunch of shit. Dewey got stabbed, shot, all kinds of shit. It took him 5 movies to die, dude. So, I mean, there has to be a certain level of suspension of disbelief at this point. I know for some people, it's just going to take you out of the movie. Fair enough. If that's the way you feel about it, that's the way you feel about it. But for me personally, Stu Macher is literally one of the best characters in the fucking franchise. Besides Sidney Prescott, I would say Randy, and Billy Loomis, and maybe Dewey, depending on who you are. He is definitely up there as one of the best characters in the entire franchise. And even though a lot of people love Billy Loomis, myself included, I also got to meet Skeet Ulrich a couple years back as well. Not at the same convention, different convention, but they both ended up being at both of the conventions I met both of them at, coincidentally enough. But anyway, Stu has always been my favorite Ghostface. Always has, always will be. So entertaining, so fun and hilarious, and also kind of creepy at the same time. And the fact that he was really just peer pressured into the situation and didn't really have an ulterior motive in the original film, it's going to be very interesting to see him come back and now want to probably and most likely get his revenge on Sydney, right? Matthew Lillard also said at a panel a few years back when they were promoting Scream 5, in between the release of that film and Scream 6, they were actually talking about the fact that Matthew Lillard would only return to the franchise if Neve Campbell did as well, and they were in the same installment together, because everything was up in the air because she decided not to do Scream 6 because of a whole pay dispute that was very well documented in the trades. And for some reason, if you were living under a rock and you like Scream movies and didn't know about this, more power to you. But there was that whole controversy. We also know there was a whole big controversy with the Carpenter twins, which is the whole reason why we're pivoting over to getting Neve Campbell back as Sydney, going and diving into her daughter, her friends, and getting these 2 dual storylines in a brand new location. Might be Seattle, Washington. I'm hoping so. Big grunge guy here. And seeing where everything's going to pick up, they cast Joel McHale to play her husband Mark, not Mark Kincaid. So we're not getting any Patrick Dempsey. I guess he'll be carving up people for Thanksgiving too. But we got that casting information. We also got a weird ass update today as well, or maybe late last night, that Scott Foley, who played Roman Bridger, aka Nev's half brother, the killer in Scream 3. And I don't give a fuck about spoilers for a 25-year-old movie. If you didn't know, you should fucking know. Why you're watching a Scream update. But yeah, so apparently Roman Bridger is coming back in some form as well. Very odd. He definitely was dead. He got shot in the head, I think. So that's a little bit more definitive. Same thing with Billy. So it's a little more definitive than Stu. I think Roman Bridger is going to be more of a vision or flashback type of scenario. I don't think he's coming back in the present still alive. That'd be really weird to see two different Ghostface coming back that are both presumed to be dead. Difference being, Stu was never literally confirmed. They even have a question mark of his death in Scream 5 when they're looking at the different suspects on the wall at the police station. So, I mean, is that Scream 6 or was that Scream 5? Correct me in the comments. Let me know. But either way, Stu's death has always been up in the air. And I think at the end of the day, as Scream fans, I think we should all be excited that we get to see Matthew Lillard come back to the role that literally made him famous to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And getting to do this poetically with Nev Campbell, who's also his ex, by the way, and getting to see them clash once again, to me, has so much room for potential. Getting to do it in a film directed by Kevin Williamson, to me, is very special. Getting to get his 2 cents on it, someone that wrote and created Stu Macher and all the original characters and the original lore of this franchise. I'm really excited to see what he can do behind the director's chair. They do have Guy Busick, who was one of the co-writers on Scream 5 and Scream 6, along with James Vanderbilt, if I remember correctly. Might be wrong there. I kind of mix up some of these filmmaker names sometimes. But he's coming back to kind of bring over some of the same flavor from Scream 5 and 6. And I'm just so excited and I really can't believe I'm sitting here talking to this camera, talking to you guys and gals and everyone in between out there about this freaking crazy ass Scream update. Stu lives, baby. Stu Macher's back. Get it up. It's time. Fucking Scream 7 is looking even crazier and cooler than ever. Dropping in February, like 25th of 2026. I think 24th, 25th. Either way, it's February 2026. Stu Macher's back. Stu lives. Jump into the comments below and let me know, are you happy about this announcement? Do you think it's stupid? Do you fall somewhere in between? Or are you like me and just can't fucking believe it? And at the same time, not sure how they're going to pull it off, but just, I love Stu. I'm glad he's back. I thought he was going to pop up in Scream 6 and was the whole mastermind of this whole thing. So, going to be really interesting to see if they're going to tie him into the previous 2 installments we just had. Are they going to do something similar to what they were going to do with the original Scream 3 and have him have a cult, so to speak, of younger people carrying out his thing? Has he been doing this all from the beginning in Scream 5? So many twists and turns that this thing can take, but y'all give me your best theories down below in the comment section below. I don't give a shit how many views this gets. I had to get my 2 cents out there as a diehard Scream fan almost for my entire life. I had to talk about this. But yeah, super hyped. Can't wait for Scream 7. Can't wait for the damn first trailer. It's amazing. They're shooting the film right now. It's going to be a great time, and it really is a great time to be a Scream fan. So, yeah, man. Be on the lookout for another installment of our pop culture show, What's the Word, returning here in 2025. Going to be getting into all the latest and greatest news. Won't be talking about this topic since there's a video already dedicated to it, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Marvel, some Star Wars stuff, and some good horror news popping off as well. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for all that goodness. And until next time, make sure you stay safe out there. And until next time, stay up. Don't sleep on the channel. Stu Macher is back, baby. Peace.